There we go. Okay. So, I guess introductions. My name's CC. Nice to meet you.
Yep, my name's The8BitBeast. You too?
Yeah. So, I guess just go and get started here. When did you first start playing or running Banjo, or maybe just following Banjo? Like, when did you first start?
Oh man, I used to do like really terrible runs as a kid that were 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
But probably 2016 is when I started getting pretty serious about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Were you mainly doing 100% runs or any percent stuff at the time, or?
So I was doing this really cool category called Sandcastle percent, which is basically any percent, but you allow cheats.
Ah.
Yeah, so we were kind of grinding for the world record in that because nobody really ran it at the time. Then, yeah, I did a lot of any percent after that, which is really, really similar.
Okay. Interesting. I hear that you're a bit of a BK scientist. I think those are Asmi's exact words, BK scientist.
Yeah, no, I do a lot of Taz stuff with it. Actually, just pretty much yesterday, we found a massive new tech for the Taz. You can basically clip through almost any floor. So just say 15
it's on my list of questions. So we're going to get to that.
Oh, nice. Yeah. No, but hyper resonance is the main one that's good at doing optimal movement. And I'm more in the glitch hunting sort of territory.
Okay. How did you get into that, if I might ask?
Geez. I got into Tazzing because my brother Isotard showed me Tazzing, and I did a lot of 2D stuff, but I loved Banjo-Tooie RTA, so it was just a natural thing. It's like my favorite game. So
okay. Yeah. Tooie or Kazooie?
Kazooie. Did I say Tooie?
I think you said Tooie, but that's okay. I assumed you meant Kazooie, but
Tooie's also good. Not quite as good, but still good.
Yeah, I like Tooie a lot.
Yeah.
Casually, at least. Okay. So I think recently the things that I've seen you in was there's the 810 note door skip, and then CCW early were the two big ones that I've seen recently, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are the two big ones.
So I guess tell me about them. What's up with the 810 door skip, right?
Okay, so 810 note door skip came from, I was going through basically this gold rush of figuring out how the collision worked in Banjo. So you can clip off pretty much like a ledge. If you imagine a step shape, if you jump and you fall really fast into something shaped like a step, you can clip through it. So we got a few clips. We got into the church in Mad Monster Mansion without opening it, and I also clipped out of Wazza's cave. So both of those save time in 100%.
Okay.
But I was really understanding it a lot better, and it turns out that you need a lag frame to clip through one of those step-like things.
Okay.
And I got Isotage to make me a really good tool for basically letting me place a lag frame wherever I want artificially, just to experiment with it. And that was really the key to cracking 810 skip. So yeah, it's incredibly precise, but the trick is that you get a lot of downward speed on that little column thing, and then you get a lag frame and you clip through. So nice. I was very happy about that. Cut like 30 minutes or 20 minutes off the task.
Yeah, I imagine that's a big one. Because as far as I know, like any percent is almost kind of like running like 100%, but like 90%. You know what I mean? It's 810 note door. That's out of 900. That's 90% of all the notes. So I know that a lot of any percent in particular is like you're still playing most of the game.
So, yeah, I'd agree. Especially glitchless, where you need 94 jiggies as well.
Oh my gosh. That's I don't know. That's so weird. I don't know. I don't know if that doesn't sit well with me, but it's just like I just don't like the idea that any percent is, so much. You're playing 90% of the game still. Anyways, so that's PAL and TAS only, right?
Yeah. The reason for PAL is just due to the lower frame rate. So Banjo still moves the same actual speed, but due to the lower frame rate, he moves further in a frame. So that's just to compensate for the lower frame rate. because he moves further in a frame, he can actually clip through. Whereas on NTSC, he doesn't move quite far enough in one frame to clip through.
Gotcha. The TAS only part, is it just because getting that one lag frame is too hard, or what specifically is TAS only about it?
Oh, that's a really good question. There's a few TAS only tricks that are on the verge of being possible RTA. Probably the best one to talk about is MMM early, which saves 10 jiggies, which is really similar to A10 skip. That one is really close to being RTA viable, but you're exactly right. Getting that lag frame to happen in the right spot, that's the TAS only part of MMM early. And then A10 skips a whole nother can of worms where both the lag frame and the movement is TAS only.
Gotcha. Okay. If I had asked that question 5 minutes ago, I wouldn't have understood. But when you mentioned the lag frame thing, I said, okay, that's probably really important.
Yeah.
So
because you move faster in the lag frame, well, further in the lag frame to compensate for the lost frame. So it's like Banjo's moving 1.5 times as fast. That's why you can clip.
Gotcha. Okay. By the way, don't mind CJ. He's our editor. He's just going to listen in.
No worries.
Okay. So, speaking of like TAS stuff and sort of glitches stuff, is there any potential for any of that stuff to be useful for 100%? I think 810 note door skip would not be helpful, but CCW maybe?
Oh yeah, definitely. Another 100% TAS is something that I really want to either see or make, to be honest. The couple of glitches I was talking about before, so we've got the clip into the church, it's going to save 20 or 30 seconds, and then the clip out of Woz's cave, save well, I don't know, you'd have to reroute the whole level, but like 20 seconds maybe.
Okay.
A10 skip saves, I guess, 5 seconds or something over opening the door, and then click Lockwood early is going to be like 2 minutes. The actual current 100% TAS, all the stuff in the levels is pretty good, but in terms of all the glitches we found, we could save well over another 10 minutes on the 100% TAS.
Oh my gosh.
But any percent's a priority for now.
Oh yeah. Any of that stuff would be RTA viable, maybe?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I get very frustrated in that I found a lot of stuff in this game, but not much of it really seeps through into the RTA community. I guess the only thing that I've found, well, sort of found is TTC early. They thought that it was emulator only, and I got it on console. So now people are doing that.
Nice.
Apart from that, not really. If there was a glitch that was sort of hard and it saved a lot of time, then I could see people maybe doing it. People are talking about doing Click Lockwood early right now, but I'm not sure if it'll happen.
Yeah, because it's like the precision is, I think, Asmi said that it was like, we're talking like several decimal points of like precision on position wise, right?
Exactly, yeah. So it's like precision down to 5 decimal places, and for reference, you move about 20 units in one frame. So very precise.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
I'm
just trying to think how in the world
maybe do it.
Well, I mean, if maybe, well, I'm trying to think. So Banjo probably doesn't have a lot of like specific. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think of like Ocarina of Time, how it's like, okay, we do 2 side hops, 2 ESS turns, and they're gonna do like a shield turn and then a backflip, and then then we'll do there, and then we'll be right there. We'll have the right angle. But I'm just trying to think, like, is there anything like you could do like a beak barge until like a ground pound until like is there any kind of movement setup stuff that works for Banjo? I don't think there is, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, I've actually found a bit. So there's the obvious ones, like you could press B to bear punch, and that's always a fixed distance.
Okay.
You can also press B to beak barge, or you can hold B to do a long beak barge. So that's sort of 3 different movement options all in a straight line. Banjo also has a dead zone around the joystick. So if you're holding straight up, then you have a little bit of leeway left and right. If you're a little bit off center, Banjo will still just move straight up.
Right.
So it's maybe like a 5 degrees on either side, something like that.
Okay.
I mentioned before MMM early that I was trying to get an RTA set up for that. And what I actually did was pause buffered. So I held the stick straight down and then did a jump and then pause buffered. So then when I unpaused, I was holding the stick straight up. So you could do setups like that with pause buffering, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't got any of them to work yet.
Okay, well, for a 2-minute time save, I imagine that there might be people out there who are going to try and work on that.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see if anyone gets it. The main thing with MMML is just the lag frame is really difficult to get.
Oh, yeah, there's the lag frame too.
Yeah, you have to hold your camera on a really weird angle, which messes with the setup.
Okay. All right. So I guess I want to ask you about some other glitches and things from the past. Were you around for RBA? Because you said you started in 2016, right? So.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I think RBA originally was found in 2012 with the Cauldron method.
Well, I think NTSC is what I was referring to.
The swap from PAL to NTSC?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was definitely around for that. I was running any % back on PAL, which is easy for me because I'm in a PAL region, but no one else was running it. And Stiv found that, what was it, like GDQ 2017? It was at a GDQ anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was really great because I was a bit sad to see that PAL wasn't useful anymore, but it opened up the door to more people to run any %. So yeah, that was really cool. I'm still waiting for more people to get into it, but it's definitely bigger than it was.
That's good. Yeah, it's I guess how much faster would it be to do it on NTSC than it would be PAL? Like how much faster is? Yeah, just any % in general.
Yeah, so I guess most old games, PAL is way slower than NTSC. But Banjo, we're lucky because they adjust his movement on PAL to make it the same speed as NTSC. So it's pretty close. The cutscenes for opening levels are slower on PAL. So you lose maybe 2 to 3 seconds per level opening. Okay. So over the whole game, PAL's about 30 seconds slower than NTSC.
It's not that bad.
No, not at all. And I was still running on PAL for a while after it was possible on NTSC, just because some of the tricks are a bit easier.
Okay, that's not a bad trade-off. Okay. Were you around for Stiv's 158.19?
Yeah. So what with Nimpulk skip, it was pretty. Well, he got a 159, didn't he?
Yeah, he got like a 159 something, but I think he wasn't happy with it because it wasn't a great run.
Yeah, I kind of felt for him there because he was trying so hard for sub 2, and then he just got a free trick to let him get sub 2. It was great that it saved so much time, but I think he was, I don't know this personally, but I would imagine he was a bit bummed out that he didn't get the sub 2 before that trick. Whereas now he's just got a 157, so it's like Nimpulk skip, you just take away about 2 minutes. So it's basically like he has got the real sub 2 now.
Yeah. Which is good. I think I when I spoke to him, he specifically said that like it was kind of a whatever run, and the Nimpulk made it kind of free, so he wasn't really happy with it. So I can definitely like if you watch the 158.19, you can really like see him like oh finally like it's finally a good run, so it's good.
Yeah, and Nimpulk skip is more like a minute 40 than 2 minutes. So getting a 158.19 actually is like the first real sub 2.
There you go. All right. Speaking of sub 2, who do you think is the next person to take sub 2 100%?
Oh man. All right, let me pull up the leaderboards really quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
I think off the top of my head, Hagenator's in second, if I'm not mistaken.
He has 2:22, I think. Sorry, 2 hours and 22 seconds.
Yeah, so I think it's probably going to be Hagenator. But I would love to see Damo getting it. I didn't realize Damo got a 2:00.42. I thought he was still in the 2:01, 2:02 region. But yeah, I'd love to see Damo play more because he doesn't do many runs and he's still got such a good time. It's really impressive. It's the same thing with JC Tomo. JC Tomo used to run a lot, but now he doesn't really run anymore, and he'll just come back and do 3 or 4 runs and then get a 2:01:57, which is super impressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, but in terms of who's actually going to do it, yeah, it's going to be Hagenator or maybe Asmi, but Asmi likes to focus on all sorts of different categories, not just 100%.
Mm-hmm. He's the world record holder and everything else, right?
Yeah,
well,
I think
on N64,
all the other
specifically.
N64 stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Okay. So to get back to tassing stuff, I believe in that 810 note door skip video, you said you're going to be working on any percent task now, right?
Yeah. Me and Hyper. So Hyper will be doing most of the movement, but he'll occasionally come to me and say, "Oh yeah, can you try and match or beat this part?" if he's not sure if it's optimal. He's really good. He'll squeeze out every frame that he can of time save.
That's good.
So we're working on that, but now that I've found this new clipping method to get Click Lockwood early, and it's going to be used everywhere else, we basically have to restart. So we were at the end of Mumbo's Mountain, but now we're back to the start.
That's for any percent, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's because did I hear that the Jiggy count is only 1 now?
It sure is.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. So it used to be, RTA, it's still 31 because it's 15 for Click Lockwood, 10 for MMM, 5 for Clanker's Cavern, and then 1 for Mumbo's Mountain. So yeah, 31 RTA, but we've got Clanker's early, MMM early, and Click Lockwood early in Taz.
Okay.
So it cuts out a lot.
Which Jiggy is it? Is it the first one?
Yeah, you just get the first one and open Mumbo's Mountain, then that's it. But we may be able to clip into Mumbo's Mountain. I'm not sure yet.
Interesting. If it because you only need okay. I'm trying to think. So you said you would maybe even clip into Mumbo's Mountain, then that you would even need any Jiggies then, right?
No, you wouldn't.
Interesting.
Yeah, so imagine like the Click Lockwood early method, but you just do it on top of Mumbo's Mountain instead. Yeah.
Okay. Man, this is wacky.
There's some technicalities of the glitch. It might not work yet, but I'll be doing some testing hopefully this weekend to see.
Do you need any of the Furnace Fun moves to do it?
Yeah, you do. Well, somebody got it in TUI without. So we've used the ground pound. So basically, you hover over the correct spot, which is just this tiny, tiny little gap in the collision, and then you ground pound through that gap, which is what we're doing. Someone in TUI got it just in Talon Trot without using a ground pound. So maybe you don't need it. But yeah, you're probably wondering like, well, how are you going to ground pound into Mumbo's Mountain if you don't have ground pound yet? Turns out the way the FFM works is you can we usually get the moves when we go into Mumbo's Mountain, but if you leave and then re-enter the lair, you'll get the moves as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just a little bit slower.
My question, okay, that's a little slower. I was going to say, wouldn't it be faster to do that and then get Talon Trot and then use Talon Trot to move, but then maybe that's not faster?
It almost is. It's so close. And the funny thing is, on Xbox, where the loading zones are faster, they actually do that.
Okay. Because I remember when I heard the how you get the FFM, it's like when you enter and exit a level or from the layer or whatever, and I thought, okay, but then why don't you just walk back to the door you just came through and do it again, because then you'd have it. But okay, that answers my question. So is anyone go ahead?
Sorry?
I cut you off. What were you going to say?
So in the Taz, I guess the main thing is 45 Mumbo tokens. You need Pumpkin and you need the Bee. Right. I'm also working on another Taz, Sandcastle percent, which, as I mentioned before, is any percent with cheats. So it's completely unrestricted. That's going to be like 20 minutes. And I was almost finished Tazzing it. I'm up to 810 note door skip now. So that should be out in a couple of weeks, maybe. I don't think I'll go back and redo it with this new tech because I can't really think of anything that will save much time. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. But any percent will be quite a while off. Okay.
Is anyone working on 100% tasks? I feel like I heard Hyper was, but I don't remember.
No, nobody's working on it. Hyper did a few levels.
Okay.
like not a few levels sequentially, but he sort of asked everyone, "Hey guys, what level do you think would be cool to see?" And people said, "I think Treasure Trove Cove and Gobi's Valley." So he did those two individually with FFM, but no, nobody's actually working on it. Maybe after any %.
Okay. I don't know why I heard that, but maybe I just misheard any % and 100%. I got them confused. So, okay. If that happens, would you be working on that?
Oh yeah, I'd love to work on that with him. I think I've thought about just doing it myself, maybe doing like a less optimized TAS of 100% and doing it in a few months or something.
Right, because those take a long time.
I would be pretty bad at that. I would need Hyper and Cole to probably help me do all the routing.
Okay. Neat. All right. I think I already asked you this. If there was 100% TAS, what would be some interesting TAS-only strats for 100%? Or stuff that Stiv doesn't use now? What are some of the TAS-only things in 100% that would be in the new TAS?
Stuff that Stiv doesn't use now. Okay, I'm going to mentally go through all the levels, first of all.
Yeah.
Mumbo's Mountain, there's not a lot that's interesting. You might be able to use one of these new clips, like one of the Click Lockwood early style clips, to just clip out of Mumbo's Mountain, save a little bit of time walking back to the level exit.
Okay.
But apart from that, nothing really, apart from Jiggy Dance skips, because you can skip a Jiggy Dance if you take damage on exactly the same frame.
Right.
Treasure Trove Cove is quite different. Hyper Resonance already has that one, and we use a clip off of the lockup that has the Jiggy, and we clip out of bounds and start flying underneath the level. It's a really good watch.
I'll have to find it. Okay.
Clanker's Cavern. Nothing in 100%, but the any % route's going to be really cool. Bubble Glip. Oh, yeah, Bubble Glip. So Chronicy's found this glitch years ago called the backwards long trot, where basically those little platforms that bob up and down in the swamp water in Bubble Gloop,
right?
You can do what looks like you're trying to do a clip off one of those. So jump and sort of get hooked on the edge. And then Banjo will go flying across the level, like really far. So that'll probably be in Bubble Gloop Swamp. And there's... Because we would bring the bee into Bubble Gloop Swamp. Currently, RTA runners come in with the bee, and then they go into Mumbo's Skull, and then they die in there, and then they just do the level normally as Banjo. But dying gets rid of all your notes and Jinjos.
Right.
We can probably clip out of Mumbo's Skull as Banjo, and if we clip out, we won't die. So we could go and get a bunch of stuff as the bee in Bubble Gloop Swamp, and then transform back into Banjo, then clip out, and then keep all the stuff that we had as the bee. So that'd be really cool. And I think you can also just do Mr. Vile with the Croc and not do any of the stuff near the huts area. There's some notes that are really hard to get as Banjo, but you can actually clip in and get those notes under the huts. For ZZ Peak, it's going to be really different because of the clip that I found out of Waz's cave.
Right.
So that's right as you get the honeycomb. And we can clip out there. Basically what that means is that cave used to be at the very end of the level because you'd have to do a death warp on the ice cube and then you lose all your notes and Jinjos and all the presents. But now that we can clip out of Waz's cave, we can just do that cave anywhere we want in the level. So it opens up a lot of routing possibilities.
Is that clip hard, I assume? Is it like PAL only, TAS only?
I'm not sure about PAL only. It's pretty similar to... you remember how I said MMM early was... You could do the setup RTA, but getting the lag frame was hard.
Oh, yeah.
Here, getting the lag frame would be hard, and you probably couldn't do the setup RTA either. So it's a little bit harder than MMM early.
Gotcha.
And it doesn't save as much time.
Okay.
Gobi's Hyper made a TAS of that already. There'd be a few clips out of bounds, and you do rubies in speed shoes. So that's really cool. That maze that RTA will usually do it just in normal talent drop, but the TAS takes speed shoes through that whole area.
Nice.
Mad Monster Mansion, you got the clip into the church, so that saves heaps of time and completely reroutes the whole level.
Mm-hmm.
Rusty Bucket Bay. I had a really crazy idea for Rusty Bucket Bay to do like half of it as the bee and half of it as banjo. So get all 100 notes as the bee and then get some jiggies with banjo. But I don't know if that would be faster. You might be able to clip. Rusty Bucket Bay will be the most. It's not similar to RTA, but it would be the most similar to the current 100% Taz. So that has a completely different route to RTA already. But the new Taz wouldn't change it too much. Okay. And then Clicklock would, I don't even know. Pretty similar to the current 100% Taz as well.
Okay.
And then the layer stuff just changes heaps. So what I mentioned there doesn't sound like we've saved very much time. And all those levels that I just mentioned then, I wasn't really thinking about this new tech that we found the other day. I was thinking more about what I've known for a few weeks now. But we could probably do Click Clock Wood early style clips to save heaps of time everywhere else in the levels too.
All right.
But the layer is where we're getting the most time saved. So, the current Taz doesn't use FFM, but the new Taz for 100% probably would. I'd probably bully Hyper into doing it. So we got Clankers early, which saves a lot of time opening the puzzle for that level. Right. And it saves even more time over the old Taz because the old Taz didn't use FFM. So it has to come back into that room with the Clankers puzzle and open it now that it had Shock Spring. But we could just clip straight into Clankers cabin. Doing the whole RBA route stuff saves like a minute and a half. So that's pretty big. Doing... what else am I missing? Mad Monster Mansion early saves 2 minutes just on its own. Click Clock Wood early saves 2 minutes just on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And the old Taz doesn't even have an impulse skip, but we've got a Taz only skip for Furnace Fun, where you basically just jump up. So like if you try and jump around the outside of the board, you can't jump into the squares because there's invisible walls all around the edge.
Right.
But the corners of the invisible walls are really weird. And you can sort of get hooked into the corner and then you can like jump up those invisible walls and then jump over the top of the Furnace Fun board. So yeah, that's something that I found like a few weeks after the old 100% Taz was done. So
can you jump into the board like later on?
You can, yeah.
Does it lock you in with the moves and stuff, or can you walk around like normal?
As soon as you go over the squares, I'm pretty sure it gets rid of all your moves, yeah.
Okay, so then it resumes Furnace Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can just jump over the whole thing and skip it in a Taz. And I've gotten hooked on the wall and climbed up the wall RTA before. So you could use that to skip a few tiles, but it would not be consistent. And with an impulse skip now RTA, like Furnace Fun is not really an issue anymore.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Are there any other people you would consider to be BK scientists?
Yeah. So just gonna pull up our any percent Taz Discord. Just reading off the list here, we've got Asmi, Gogo, Hyper, Isotage, Captain Cole, me, and that cow guy.
Interesting. All right.
That cow guy does a lot of A-button challenge stuff, so that's really cool.
Nice.
Also missing from here is probably Tom Ballum, so the Ballum 96. He does a lot of TUI stuff, but I think right now as we're talking, he's playing with this new glitch, the seam clipping for Click Clock Wood early.
Okay.
And I really hope that I'm not missing anyone because I've just read off this list here. But yeah, Isotage does a lot of stuff with script talk. Oh, and Mittens. Mittens is a huge BK scientist. He's done heaps of stuff.
Yeah, he did the practice ROM, right?
Yeah, totally. And lots of other people dabble with it. So yeah.
All right. Okay, I think that's all the questions I have for you. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to ask you. No, I don't think I have anything. So, yeah, thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. It's really good to see interest in banjo. I'm always keen for more of it. So yeah, I hope the episode turns out well.
Thank you. Let me go and end the recording here then.